Hey everybody, my name's Jacob Furr and we're going to do a couple of guitar instructional videos here for the library. So let's get started. So you take your guitar, that's what this guy is. Hopefully you have one or that you've checked one out from the library. And we're going to just sit on a chair anywhere you want to, but we're going to make sure our feet are planted in front of us about shoulder width apart because we want to have good posture while we're doing this. So we're going to have our feet down. Our guitar sits here on our right leg. Some people like to scoot out from the chair a little bit and put their left leg up, and you can hold the guitar like this. It makes it a little bit easier to get around down on this end, but for the most part, everybody likes to sit like this and play guitar. So we're going to hold the guitar here on our right leg, and we're just going to go over the parts of the guitar just to orient ourselves to what's going on here, and so that when we talk about it in the future, we'll know what we're talking about. So we're going to start from the very top of the guitar, which is the head of the guitar. That's this whole thing up here, and the head contains our tuning pegs that are these guys that tune our strings. Moving on from the head and the tuning pegs, we're going to go down here to what I consider the most important part of the guitar, which is the nut of the guitar. That's this plastic piece or bone piece that sits here at the top of the guitar. And the nut, we'll talk about this here in a minute, why it's important, but just for now, know that that's the nut. And then we have the neck of the guitar that comes all the way up here. And on the neck is our fretboard, which is the piece of wood or plastic or whatever that sits on top of the neck that holds our frets, which are these guys that go vertically like this. Our frets go up and down like this on the neck. And then we come down to the body of the guitar, and we have so we've got the head, the neck, and the body, and we have the face, the back, and the sides. And then the two most important parts of the body are the sound hole, which is this guy, and the bridge, which is this piece right here. So the sound hole is where the sound comes out, obviously, but the bridge is where the strings connect to the body, and also how we're going to kind of orient our hand to the face of the guitar to learn how to play here in a few minutes. So to review, we've got our headstock with our tuning pegs, we've got the nut, we've got the neck that has the fretboard and the frets on it, then we have the body with the face, back, and sides, the sound hole, and the bridge. Okay, so that's the guitar itself. The next thing we need to talk about is the strings and how the strings are numbered and how they're named, because we're going to start using those quite a bit when we start to build chords and do exercises and play songs. So to start off with, our first string on the guitar, the number one string, is this string right here. And you might think that's the bottom string of the guitar because it's closer to the ground, but it's actually the top string of the guitar because it's the highest pitch. So this one's high and this one's low. So we have a high pitch and a low pitch, and we're going to number our strings number one, going from the highest string to the lowest string. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, and the sixth string. Okay? Make sense? All right. So we have our string numbers now, and we're also going to number our frets, which we talked about earlier, which are these guys going vertically. So we've got the first fret, second fret, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th, going all the way up. And there's dots on there to mark the third, fifth, seventh, ninth, and 12th fret. And so when we talk about where to put our fingers at in the future, we can use this as kind of like a cross-reference, right? So we have our first string. So we'll say we're going to play our first chord on the third fret, here, this fret, of the first string. And we're going to put a finger down here. It doesn't matter which one. We're just going to put any finger here. And if we strum these three strings, we have our first chord. So, like I said, third fret, first string, and that's how we use the frets and the string numbers to kind of cross-reference to figure out where we're at on the guitar. Okay, so we have parts of the guitar now. We have the string numbers. We've got our fret numbers. So let's build 3 real simple chords first, and then we'll do an exercise that we can use until we get to the next lesson. So the 3 chords that we're going to learn today are the E minor chord, and don't worry about why they're called this. It doesn't really matter right now. Just know that these are the names of it. The E minor chord is the easiest chord in the world to play on the guitar. All you do is you take your thumb and you strum the first 3 strings of the guitar. So these 3, you go 3, 2, 1, and strum them all together. And you have your first chord, your E minor chord. That's all you got to do. Just those 3 wide open, no fingers, nothing, just strumming the top 3 strings. Okay? Now, the next chord we're going to learn is the one we mentioned earlier, and we're going to take, let's just take our first finger. We'll do it real easy. We'll do it with our first finger. We're going to take this finger right here, index finger of our left hand, and we're going to put it here on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and we're going to hold that down, and we're just going to strum those 3 strings again, and we're going to get our G chord. That's simple, just one little note, one note we're holding down, playing 3 strings, got a G chord. Okay, then the 3rd chord we're going to learn is called the C chord, and this one's a little bit trickier. So we're going to take our hand, and we're going to take our first finger, and we're going to put it on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, right here, and holding it down right behind the fret. And we're going to kind of have to arch our fingers a little bit, so we don't want to mute that string. We want to let it ring out. We're going to play those 3 strings again. We're going to strum all 3 of the top strings one more time. So there we've got 3 chords. We have an E minor chord, which is these 3 strings, just wide open. A G chord, which is our first finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And then we have a C chord, that's the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And that's all 3 of our chords, our first 3 chords. Okay, so the final piece of our video here, of our first lesson on guitar, is an exercise you can do to get your fingers warmed up on the instrument and kind of working together and individually as you go along and move on in your guitar journey. So before we get to the exercise, we need to talk about one thing real quick to make this easier. And what that's going to be is hand position. So we're going to have our left hand, and we're going to take it, and we all have these 2 lines that run down the middle of our hands, right? Where we close our hands at, we have these 2 lines. We're going to take those 2 lines, and we're going to put the neck of the guitar right down those 2 lines on our hand, just like this. Then we're going to take our thumb, and we're going to put it almost in the middle of the neck, but kind of towards the top of the neck, like this, just like there. We're going to put our thumb there. So we've got our guitar neck run down the 2 lines in the middle of our hand. Our thumb is on the back. And then all you're going to do is you're going to drop your wrist down and kind of make a little space there in between the palm of your hand and the neck of the guitar, right? Then we're going to take our first finger, which is our index finger, and we're going to put it on the 1st fret of the 6th string, right here. And we're going to hold it down as tight as you can, and you just play that note all by itself. Then you're going to take your 2nd finger, and you put it on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. You play that note. 3rd fret, 3rd finger. 4th fret, 4th finger. That's all you gotta do. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from there you keep moving up the strings, right? Because we're going up to the 1st string. So we're gonna go. And that's your 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. And what that does is it kind of gets your hands oriented to the guitar. It also makes your fingers work individually. So one more time from the very beginning, you're going to go first finger on the 1st fret of the 6th string right here. I'm going to play that note. 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. 4th finger on the 4th fret. And you do it for every string from the 6th string all the way to the 1st. And if you're just getting started, you want to go as slow as you possibly can. Don't worry about going fast. You're not trying to go fast right now. We're just trying to be accurate. So that's the end of this first lesson. So we've got the parts of our guitar. We've got our head, our neck, our body. We've got our strings. We've got our frets. We've learned 3 chords. We learned an E minor chord, open, G, and a C chord. And we've also learned a very basic exercise. The 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise that we're going to do every day until we watch the next video next week. So thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Jacob Furr here with the Fort Worth Public Library, and we're going to do some more videos for you.